Welcome to Sustainable Packaging Explained, your guide to sustainable materials, methods, and package design produced by the Emerging Brands Alliance in conjunction with Packaging World. In this episode, we're looking at package design and food. While sustainability can apply to agricultural practices, ingredient sourcing, and the processes of food manufacturing, in this video, we're going to focus on sustainability in food packaging. Packaging typically makes up less than 10% of the carbon footprint of a product, but if the packaging fails, all manufacturing energy and efforts are wasted. In a broad sense, sustainable packaging will protect the product and extend shelf life, thereby preventing food waste. It is estimated that in some developed countries, 30 to 40% of the food supply is wasted, and while not all of this loss is attributed to spoilage, it still amounts to a huge monetary loss in total. Initiatives are being made to eliminate waste by educating consumers, shoring up the supply chain, redistribution and food rescue, and innovating upcycled ingredients, or creating products from food that would typically be wasted. When it comes to package design to prevent food waste, resealability is becoming a more common feature. Zippered closures, screw caps, pressure-sensitive adhesive strips, or lids are just some of the available options. Packaging World editor Matt Reynolds tells us more about shelf life and how reclosure fits into the picture.
Traditionally, when we're talking about shelf life as it pertains to food and beverages and pack, we're talking about an expiration date. So it's a very black and white thing. Either it's viable up to that expiration date and not viable thereafter. That's not the case in the real world. There's a lot more nuance to it. There's a gradient, there's a continuum. So food and beverage brands, CPGs are recognizing that they can extend the shelf life of their food not only until that expiration date, but also prior to the expiration date after the product has been opened. That's because while the product is in pack, usually it's not subject to oxygen ingress. There may be a backflush of inert gas for a MAP or modified atmosphere packaging. Anyways, the clock is ticking at a very predictable pattern towards that expiration date then. But as soon as that customer opens up that bag of chips or opens up that Coca-Cola, that clock starts ticking quite a bit faster. That's why these reclosable or reclosure mechanisms are becoming more and more popular. Unfortunately, there's a trade-off that often comes with them, and that trade-off tends to be that the pack itself then undergoes multi-material or adhesives are added or different types of materials are added that may impact the recyclability or the overall sustainability profile of that pack. So life cycle analysis needs to be performed on these packs to decide whether or not the added shelf life actually outweighs the potential negative impacts of adding different materials or rendering a package itself no longer recyclable.
Package design that enables all of the product to be removed and used is called product evacuation and is integral to preventing waste. Packaging material selection can affect package recyclability, and choices such as product formulation, using less material to create a package, or the final package footprint can affect the product's impact on distribution in the supply chain and the amount of energy required to bring the product to market. We'll dive deeper into these areas in future episodes. There are also new smart packaging technologies that can prevent food waste by reducing spoilage and extending shelf life through the use of films or biopolymer-based packaging. These materials release or absorb pathogens or prevent moisture loss from the food or the headspace of the food packaging. Another method is using sensors, indicators, and radio frequency identification systems to monitor the food environment inside and outside of the package and transmit information like temperature and pH to the user.
Now, on the intelligent packaging side of the active and intelligent packaging coin, we're looking more at sensors. Sensors that can be embedded within the pack itself or be applied to a package via a label or something like that. And that sensor is able to read and interpret the freshness of the food that's within the pack itself. Now, consider a gallon of milk. What do you do when you go to the store and you're looking to buy a gallon of milk? You're looking for the longest possible freshness. So you're looking for the longest or most distant expiration date. Now you've got another gallon of milk that might expire tomorrow. You're not going to select that. Well, what if we could apply an active or intelligent packaging device, say a sensor that knew exactly how much shelf life that milk had left and to remain viable, and then could connect via a third-party platform of some sort the price. So we call this dynamic pricing. So the price of the milk could be attached to exactly how much viability it had left on the shelf. Well, then the consumer doesn't have the loan pressure or the loan incentive to select the gallon of milk that had the most expiration left on it. It actually would have a secondary pressure to possibly save a few bucks. And if they didn't need that full 2 weeks or 3 weeks until that expiration date, they could potentially buy less expensive milk as long as they used it within the next few days. The problem in adoption of this recently has been just the price of these sensors, whether they're RFID or any other kind of sensor that would be applied. But these sensors are roughly following Moore's law in that they're getting better at what they do. They're being able to garner more information where the price per unit is going down. So it's something that we're not seeing in stores yet, but I think it's rolling out in various places in Europe in trial tests. And I think we'll see it before too long in the United States.
As with all things sustainable, there's no single right answer, and it's better to make incremental changes and to start than to look for the perfect solution. Designing food packaging with the goal of waste prevention in mind, from material selection to package footprint, to formats enabling full use of the product through resealability or evacuation, and finally to end-of-life packaging recyclability, are all great places to start. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos on packaging and scaling operations. And join us at the Emerging Brands Alliance for year-round resources to grow your brand.